Everybody, good morning. Welcome to BCB Live.
You're in a stadium. Yeah, I felt like you were announcing the game.
I felt like I was the big priest, in the cathedral with nobody present because of COVID. Hey, everybody, welcome to BCB Live. Sir Rick, the producer, and Drive Safe Dave here. And we're going to start it with the biggest news in America.
Boom!
Dak Prescott signed for 4 years. Dallas Cowboys for 4 years. Hasn't won much. Hasn't won no Super Bowls yet. But we're willing to pay him $66 million signing bonus.
Yeah, and $160 million over 4 years. Wow.
22 million or 20 million guaranteed. 20 million guaranteed in 2022.
126 million guaranteed.
Yes, it's a big number. Over the course of a year, he'll have a $9 million base salary. So a lot of money guaranteed. I
don't know how they work that, but all of a sudden I hear $160 million over the next 4 years, and then it goes, and then all of a sudden it's just $22 million against the cap. Their math is
a lot of money. Let me tell you something. And you know what? Hey, Dak, just promise you're going to bring us. Just promise you're going to give it your best. I mean, have we got past the first round yet? I don't know. No doubt that the guy has had a great career. And I love Dak, but here we go. We salary cap him last year.
Yeah.
He breaks his ankle in a bad break too. I guess we know he's going to be okay, right?
Yeah,
I guess
we know
you're going to make it. You'll be fine, and we're going to pay you a lot more money than we ever were before. I don't know, man. I don't know. I love Dak. I'm good with it.
He's got it. I like you too.
I'm good with it. He's just a good person.
Yeah, and he's pretty talented football player.
He's a good dude, and I like that alone. But you know what? A lot of good dudes out there, and I don't see him making 66 mil drive safe. But you know what? They don't have the talent that he does.
No.
It's supply and demand. A lot of people say, "How can you?" It's supply and demand. Mm-hmm. It's
what the market will bear. It's what the market will bear, and if that's what the market bears, then they should pay the price.
Yes, it is. Hey, a quick shout out. I wish we'd have done this yesterday, but we have an interview on Friday. Mr. Leroy.
Oh, yeah?
What happened with Leroy? It's so just daggum awesome.
Well, Mr. Leroy had a lease purchase truck, and he is paying off his truck, and he now owns his truck through the lease purchase program of BCB.
Another success.
Great success story, Leroy. And quickly, and did it well, and paid it off early.
That's amazing. So great job. Just shows you, too, and that you can do it out there. You can get the miles, and you can do it safe. Leroy's came so far in the way he drives that truck, and I'm not saying from a skill. I'm talking from a safety perspective.
Yep, absolutely.
Safety mindset. He has just really changed over the course of years, and he just had a anniversary with us too, not too long ago. 6 years or something like that.
Something like that, and then, but great news, great exciting owner operator now, complete owner operator, owns his own truck, and fantastic. The program works. It's been working. We've had a lot of success stories going through there, and just continues to add up to some great stories being involved in owning a truck and doing what needs to be done to become the owner-operator you want to be, right? Dreams are fulfilled.
Yep.
Dreams are happening right here. Dreams are being made right here, right now, here at BCB.
The Field of Dreams here at BCB. Listen, it's the safest station in the nation.
Safest station in the nation.
We love that part. BCB Live. Email us at bcblive@bcbtransport.com. Also have here, just as an FYI, my pen pal, Mr. Thomas Shield. He sent me a text yesterday. Said, "Hey, he got our BCB gear." So,
all right,
the youngster that Betty's grandson,
he got the gift bag.
Got the gift bag representing BCB. Our number one, our only fan in America. Hey, Thomas. Hey, thank you for supporting that. That's absolutely awesome. Hey, drive safe. Have some news as well. 5 states in 5 states with the most structurally deficient bridges just came out. So here we go. Number 5, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Number 4, South Dakota, at 17% of its bridges.
Okay.
And quite a few bridges, too, surprised me in South Dakota. Number 3, Iowa.
Okay.
Number 3, Iowa. Number 2, West Virginia. And the number 1 state, give me one guess, and you won't even come close.
I'm going to say it's... What do you mean, number 1? I'm going to...
What is it?
Michigan. I don't know.
You could have just said, I don't know. Rhode Island.
Do they? I mean, they have like 3 bridges. It's 20. The interstate's 26 miles across Rhode Island. That's
and
it.
They are the dangerous 26 miles you'll ever cross.
And they just fixed the one in Providence.
They have 779 bridges there, and 22.3% of those are marked as deficient.
Wow. And they just did I think they just redid the I-95 Providence, Rhode Island Bridge not too long ago.
Hey, here's some more stats. While we're statting it, let's go with this one right here. Okay, so we're talking about the ATRI, the American Transportation Research Industry. They say that men, you and I, two out of three. We have a boy and two grown men. Right here.
That's not fair. He's a young man. He's moved out.
Here we go.
He's a young man.
Is he considered a man or just a young man? Is that two different categories?
It counts.
According to Alan Arnold, it's just young man. So,
but you know what? He can vote and he can go and he can fight for our country. I'm
Here
gonna count
we go. Men. And listen to me, man. Listen to me. Men are 88% more likely than women to have a reckless or negligent conviction. 88% more likely than women. What do you think?
Probably true.
I'm going to say 88% of our videos are from dudes. 88% of what we see are dudes. And Buckle Up Bob can confirm that later on. Here's the other one, and you talked about this on the YouTube thing today, but 78% of men are more likely to have a seatbelt conviction than women.
Oh, I 100% agree to that. It's still there, still the stigma, still the belief that.
What is that about?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
I'm not wearing a seatbelt.
What is that? I've got airbags. What is that?
If I die, I die.
I die outside the car. What is that? I don't understand that at all.
And here we go. The last one, 20% of the men are 20% greater chance that men are likely to get into a crash, an accident. Thoughts?
I mean, the insurance says it. Insurance says it.
You know what? If I got one boy, and now I have three girls.
My daughter drove so safe when she was driving. She just would drive away. When I was a guy, I never drove safe. Hold
on. Can I hear that again? Did you say when you were a guy?
When I was a child. When I was a young man. When I was a teenager. Sorry.
I just need to get it on the record.
Wow.
You know what? Only here at BCB. But yeah, so three kids, daughters, phenomenal driving. And my son, just horrific. We talked about this. Not good at all. Bad. But anyway,
I agree
20%.
with that.
And listen to this one here, though. Women, according to the U.S. Department of Labor, they represent 7.8% of the how many truck drivers you think we have in America in total drivers? Total truck drivers.
2.5 million.
3.36 million.
Okay, sorry.
So women represent 7.8% of that. And man, when you think about that, drive safe as we talk about equal pay, right? We talk about an industry that really should be set up for, to reward those that are safe
right.
and that are efficient, I guess, right?
Right.
That are paid by the mile. What a great, to me, industry it should be to have women, driving in this industry.
Oh,
it should be.
And I'll tell you, I believe that trucking is established and set up that it is an equal pay because it's paid by the mile. It doesn't matter what sex you are when you get behind the wheel, you're paid by the mile. And there is no more better equal pay than that and by the way it sets. And just to know that, there was a time when I don't believe 7%, I don't even believe there was 1% on the road years and years ago. And now it's become 7%. I predict that number to double in the next 5 years. I think it's going to double.
I mean, so I'll ask that. So why do you think it'll double?
Well, I think it'll double because, honestly, I just think the industry by the women that are driving now, I think they're setting the example that it can be done and it's accepted. I mean, I just think it's no longer a stigma that it's just guys on the road wearing a cowboy hat like we had in the 70s of BJ and the Bear, or whatever it is, or what have you. But I believe believe now that the women out there are leading by example, and they're showing other people out there that it can be done and it can be done well.
So I sent a message yesterday, and producer, I'm going to have you kind of follow up with this, kind of help me get this to make this happen. But, I sent a message to the president of Women in Trucking. I would love to have her on here because I can assure you before I start throwing stats or you, she probably has some pretty good stats on what's going on and what they're seeing, whether it's the automation of the vehicle, whether it's, there's a lot of other, they talk about how trucks in the past were always built for the man as well, right?
Right.
6'1" or 5'8", whatever that height is it's not the same for women. And which means you've got to have the steering wheel the chair has got to be able to do things that it didn't do before. Even the placement of the older trucks of the handles when you're getting out of the truck. Right? Now the Volvos have I think they're a little longer, right?
Much longer.
Yeah, much longer, for that reason. It's not just made for men anymore. So there's a lot of things that have to happen. And I just think too, as a country, as we begin to also look and make it a little safer as well. We talk about that and I don't know exactly what that means, drive safe, other than if I'm out there, and again, this is where I want her in here talking to us, because if I'm out there driving and I'm a female, based on this, I'm going to drive at nighttime because I feel safer sleeping at the daytime. I don't know what our women do, if that's how they feel, but man, I would just be me I'm going to be a little nervous anyway. You're going to have that reefer in it, but you're probably a little bit more nervous sleeping at nighttime. And we're going to talk a little bit about that probably later on this week. I'm going to try to get the president again from Women in Trucking on our show to talk about that, because as a guy, as men drivers out there, we've got to be aware of our surroundings. We've got to be aware of that we have women in this industry, and we've got to also make sure that we're looking out for the women in our industry, the women at BCB Transport.
I think yesterday, I don't know if you knew this or not, but I believe yesterday was International Women. It was
International Women's Day yesterday.
Yeah, it was International Women's Day. It was success. It was there were a lot of celebrations around the world, not just in the United States, but there were a lot of demonstrations and stuff celebrating the successes and the overcoming of the challenges that throughout history, and doing a great and wonderful leadership role throughout the world, not just in the United States, but throughout the world and many, many countries. And I believe it was celebrated. I saw it leading on the news. I'm sorry we didn't mention it yesterday, but we'll mention it today. Congratulations, everybody. Congratulations to all the women out there making a difference out there in the world today, based upon what you're doing and overcoming today, and doing a great job at it.
Hey, drive safe. It is time for that phrase that pays. Can you go ahead and give it to us?
Don't lose your career by having a beer.
One more time.
Don't lose your career by having a beer.
And hey, listen, we're talking about this for the next couple of weeks for really one reason. We want to make sure it's never okay to have a beer in that vehicle. It's never okay to smoke pot, to do any kind of drug while you're in that vehicle, really outside of the vehicle when it comes to the drug side. That yes, marijuana, if you're smoking, I don't care where you're from, if it's legal in Colorado, legal in Vegas, wherever you're from, you can't do it in our profession, okay? We want to make sure you know that, because it is that serious. Listen, make sure that you're focused at what you do. You're staying focused at the job. Something's bothering you, pick up the phone, you call your DM and let us know what's going on. Don't go that extra step. That means you're going to walk in and grab a six-pack, a beer, a big beer, and drive safe. There are some big beers out there.
There's some 40 ounces.
I mean, there's some big beers. I'm like, yeah,
there's some tall boys. There's some big, there's some old school brown wrapping around. There's some stuff.
That's like a big brown bag. I mean, some of those things look like that.
I'm telling you, but we joke about it and we laugh about it, but it's serious business. It doesn't belong in the truck. It doesn't need to be near the vehicle. It is in a public you're talking about a commercial vehicle, which means it is open to the public if a DOT officer walks up. It is not not protected under that. If he just suspects or thinks he can crawl in there, look around and find and or identify what's going on in there. And I'm telling you, it's not worth it. It's not worth your career. It's not worth what it does to the industry. And you know what? It's not that time. You know, when you go home and you're off and you're sitting in front of it and you're watching that $160 million Dak Prescott play football from the house, that's when you pop a cold one, but not when you're in the truck or near the truck or by the truck or anything to do with the word truck.
Yes.
When it comes to that.
Hey, also, we're going to do this. We're going to have Buckle Up Bob in that safety department. We're going to send you a message, and that's to every driver. So if you're never watching this video show, you're never going to listen to our radio show, you're going to get an email, you're going to get a message on your machine today that lets you know you can't do that in our profession. And if you do, bad things will happen, including you can't work at BCB. You may not work in this profession for a long, long time.
Yep.
Listen, we're going to get a message out to you so you can't say, I didn't know. I didn't know, drive safe.
So yesterday, and in response to that, yesterday I did send out a message, fleet-wide message, on a link that does show, I believe we talked about it yesterday, does on the axle, fifth wheel to the rear axle. I did send a link that it shows the diagram and the chart for all 50 states, including Hawaii and Alaska. I don't know that you'll need those, but it does include those as well. But all the other states, it does show on there exactly what it is. We had a question about it yesterday. I sent that out yesterday. Looked it over. It's a great, real quick website. You can go on there and you can look at what you need. And I think that's neat. We're going to start sending out more info, right? We're going to start kicking these out, getting these stuff. And then DJ's going to be in today, and we're going to talk about that video on dropping trailers today.
Good deal. Good deal. Thank you very much. Well, it is almost time for Buckle Up Bob in here. So in just a second, you'll have the pleasure of getting Buckle Up Bob. Listen, we've already raised the seat up to the appropriate level. So he'll be...
Raise the bar.
Yes. He's going to be a big boy like us. He's going to be sitting up there, and make sure we warn him that the air is a little thin up here.
Yeah, nosebleed area. But wow, look at that. Hey, Bob, how you doing?
Good morning.
Morning, Bob. How you doing?
I'm doing okay.
Well, just okay. How's the rib?
Rib is good. I went to the chiropractor last night again. He worked on it some more. And he said, I got to tell you, you're one of my top 5 worst I've ever seen in the pain department when I came into him last Thursday. So,
do doctors say that to everybody?
I don't know.
When I've had my knee surgeries, they came at me.
As long as they say it to me.
We've never seen anyone that bad before.
Yeah, as long as they say it to me.
I got you on that, but I listened to them when they said that, and I'm thinking, seriously, how many other people you've said that
Why
to?
do I have to be the worst?
Yeah, they're all, because it just makes you feel better, and then you can tell stories. Oh, it was the worst he's ever seen.
I've never been told it before, so I don't know.
Yeah, top 5.
He didn't say worse. He just said,
Did you really kick somebody? Was there somebody there, and you put Bob name went there, and he went out?
Let's slide a picture in. Bob's picture goes in.
No, I think it was just a generalization. He says it was just bad, he said.
Remember David Letterman's top 10 list?
Yeah,
I do remember that.
Them were great.
Yeah.
Some of them were really good. Well, good morning, everybody. This week we are talking about the drug testing, the random, the alcohol, the medications, everything that goes into what you all do out there and what's being tested and how the trends are going and what the top problems are. And so the second one, I've got alcohol, and the results on the clearinghouse, they've got all the data in through July 1st of last year. And from January 1 to June 30th, there were 593 failed tests for alcohol. Okay. And when I stopped thinking, that's 80 per month, which is unbelievable. And then the breakdown was 250 were from random tests. So this is why the random tests aren't going away, everybody. 157 were from reasonable suspicion testing, and 55 were from post-accident testing. So them 3 categories made up 78% of all the failed drug test or alcohol. This is strictly alcohol. We'll do drug tomorrow. It's actually bigger.
There's a teaser for tomorrow.
Teaser. It's actually exponentially bigger. I mean, it's just not even close to the alcohol. So again, folks, it's important, and we go over this, and everybody does get this, because what I always send a morning reminder about the safety call, and they get the topic and the login information, and it's about all that'll fit on that. So I always stop it there. So everybody does get notified, but we will step up that as well.
Producer, we have somebody on there?
Yes, sir. Alan Arnold, what do you have
Hey,
for
Alan.
us this morning?
Well, it wasn't Alan, I don't think.
Good morning, y'all. Mr. Bob,
Yes, sir.
wanted to touch on that drug and alcohol situation there.
Yes, sir.
For owner-operators especially, and company drivers. If a DOT officer says he wants to enter your truck, don't pull that card out of your pocket and say, well, you need a warrant to get in here, because that's not going to go over very well. And you're going to end up losing a lot more than what you think.
Yeah, you have that right. I mean,
You'll lose
yes.
because he'll call it a supervisor, and
Yeah, they'll hold you there till they can get that
till they get
subpoena.
a right to get in there. Because if he has that, it's not going to be pretty.
Now, one thing I will elaborate on that just a little bit is if they ask to hook up to your ECM, do not. Insurances say that. They do not have that right. They have to subpoena that data. So again, don't let them take your engine information at the time of an accident. That happened in Missouri. They were able to get the evidence thrown out because they illegally took it. And so again, but they can only do that if you say, okay. And most of the time, that's never really happened that I see. It happens rarely, but just kind of reminder out there, one of them rare things that you may get caught in and not know.
Yeah, and that subpoena, that warrant, I mean, listen, I've seen many episodes of Yellowstone. It doesn't get played very much. I mean, if they want something, they're going to go in and get it.
And you know what? Being that person that's cooperative and open and honest, and if you have your permit book ready and your truck's fairly, clean, and you have nothing to hide, and you're demonstrating great will and good courtesy, you're going to go a lot farther. I mean, if you have the better attitude, you do the better thing, and you make better decisions, you're going to get a long way. If you get along, you're going to get along a little bit, as they say. You're going to go a long way. So you want to be courteous, kind, and considerate. They're doing their job, and for whatever reason, they have you.
Yeah, and when you play that card, what's the first thought that comes to that officer's mind? What's he hiding?
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
I mean, if you got nothing to hide, why would it matter?
All right. Caller number 2. Who do we have?
We got Matt. What do you got for us this morning?
All right. Well, Matt, no more. Let's go. Anybody else? Yeah.
Matt,
so
no more.
I mean, maybe the answer is that when first of all, don't get pulled over, right? I mean, that's the first key. Don't get pulled over.
If the light's flashing, definitely pull over.
But if you do get pulled, and if you get pulled over, hey, just invite him or her, the officer, into your car, into your home. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, come on in, officer.
Have a cup
Can
of
I
coffee.
fix you a drink?
Yeah, then they're like, well, he or she's too nice. I'm not going to go inside there. Yeah. Who do we have? We got a caller?
Yeah, we got Andy Hallgarth, then Jeff Marsh. What do you guys got for us this
Andy,
morning?
one of our Green Cup winners. Good morning.
Good morning, Sir Rick. I shot a video yesterday just south of Sterling, and it actually showed a trailer that has been ripped open in the front, wide open.
Yeah.
It was loaded with big paper rolls, and one of them was actually out in the grass.
I saw that.
Not our trailer.
No.
No, it was not one of ours. Thankfully not.
Yes.
However, on the way up, I seen that, and they had record trucks there. I would say the truck got decimated. And I say that for a reason that the top half of the sleeper cab was on one of the record trucks.
All right. Well, we'll look at that again. Hey, thank you for that, Andy, letting us know about that. I will let you know, Andy, that I looked at a couple of videos. I was trying to find a feel-good video today and saw one with a ladder that they put up to get the cat out of the tree, and the cat went down the ladder itself. And my question when I looked at that was, do we really rescue cats? Is that still a real thing? Drive safe, do you know?
I'm gonna go. I don't know. If a lady
up
comes
there, are we really sending the fire department out to rescue the cat?
If you
and
call-
Andy, no, and I'm not saying I don't agree with their tax dollars going to rescue the cat, Andy, but they put the ladder up there. It was a fire department. They put the ladder, and the cat came down the ladder out of the tree. It was stuck and came and got unstuck himself with the help of a ladder.
Wow.
So,
That's a
just
That goes to show you how smart cats are. They use the ladder to get back down.
Andy, he got stuck up there. How
Yeah,
do we know
yeah, how
what
far
happened?
was
Where
that?
where was the brains then? Thank you, Miss Andy. All right, who else do we have out there, producer?
All right, we got Jeff Marsh, and then we got Jim Beaudry. What do you guys got for us?
Morning, Mr. Marsh.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. Okay, I got one that's not really missed an exit or anything, but like last week, I was made delivery over in Schertz, Texas, and they had me go to Tyler to pick up a load. So I made it all the way to Hearn, and I shut down. And I was going to leave off the next morning, and so when I left, I was supposed to go north on 79, and I accidentally went south on 79. So I couldn't turn around. There was nowhere to turn around. There was a few places, but I was kind of a little effy about doing it. So I had to go 11 miles down to a truck stop and then turn around and come back 11 miles. And so I lost 22 miles right there, just by not using my brain and everything. But that was mine. It wasn't a missing exit, but it was sort of like that one.
Gotcha.
Yes.
That's a good point there, Jeffrey. Hey, I'll be honest. All I heard was deadhead from Schertz to Tyler.
That's what I heard too. That's what I heard.
Curtis Benedict, what do you got?
Hey, Curtis, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, guys, good morning. Hey, I just want to put out to everybody to please do your check 6 when you're picking up a trailer. I stopped a guy yesterday at a truck stop that did not dolly up his landing legs. And he pulled in, and I was like, this guy is going to rip them things off. So I walked over to him, and I said, you know, bud, you're going to really have a bad day if you rip them landing legs off. And he spun around, and he goes, oh, my God, I didn't even realize that. He goes, I've been driving for 2 hours with my landing legs like that. He said, and I just went across a set of scales. And I'm like, well, it's your lucky day. I was like, because when you get to the receiver or wherever you're going and those things aren't there, it's going to be a long day for you. So, guys, if you are preoccupied with a phone call while you're hooking up your trailer, pick something. Either hook up your trailer and get off the phone call or whatever you're doing, or finish the phone call and then do your hookup. But please, please, do your walk-arounds. Make sure that your fifth wheel is locked. Make sure your landing legs are up. Make sure your lights are working. Do that stuff. Trust me, it's going to save you a lot of headache in the long run. So that's all I've got, guys. I hope you guys have a great day.
Hey, we appreciate that. And another good point there, you know, hey, listen, when you're doing your pre-trip, you're doing your post-trip, get off the phone for 15 minutes. You know, get off the phone 15 minutes and do it so you're not looking at, you're not talking, you're going to forget something. It happens. So we want to make sure that, hey, listen, it's only 15 minutes. Make sure you're giving that trailer, that truck, the love it deserves because it's carrying some pretty special cargo, and that's you. So make sure you're doing all you can to protect it.
Yeah, and way to help the other driver out to be safe, you know, because that could have been an accident out on the highway. And so, again, he's going to remember that BCB driver came over and helped him out. So way to go to you, sir.
All right, good stuff. Anybody else?
Hey, really quick thing, guys, is that he drove 2 hours and nobody said a word to him. And that's what really bothers me as truck drivers out here is that nobody could take the time and say, hey, you got a problem with your trailer, bud.
Yep. Yeah, sometimes we're just we want the bad thing to happen so we can take a picture of it. We want that's the world we live in, right? That sensationalism. So, hey, thank you for doing the right thing. Again, it's our job. We're the ones on the road. We are the heroes, right? Drive safe on the highway.
Yeah,
we have that opportunity every day. There you go. The kings and queens of the highway. That's what we do. Great job. Way to represent our industry the way it needs to be represented. Caller, who else do we have?
We got Kerry Mobley. What do you got for us this morning?
What's up, Kerry?
Good morning, y'all. Oh, speaking about missing your exit or getting turned around, yeah. When I started this Sabre account, and I've been over there twice before already, for various reasons, but yeah, when I first started this thing, trying to come out of Sabre in Sayreville, New Jersey, which is one of the worst states to miss your exit in, yeah, I missed it like twice. I had to find my way back around to get to the interstate. It ain't fun. But it's doable. Just take your time and think about it. Don't stop and just back up and it's not a pretty sight. But yeah, I've missed my turns going into customers all the time, or not all the time.
Kerry, we might need to.
Just when I'm late.
Might need to revisit that.
Times, but I have missed my customers either because the GPS said they were right here when they're like a half mile down the road.
Hey, Kerry, you only go to 2 places now. How are you still doing that?
I'm not doing it anymore. I figured it out. Finally,
After 6 months, you got it down.
6 months has been like 3 weeks.
Thank you, Kerry. So a quick story.
Kerry wasn't an Alabama fan, he wouldn't get lost so much.
Yes, sir. Uh-oh. Yes, sir. There we go now.
From an Auburn fan.
Uh-oh.
Come on.
Hey, so when we opened up the Whirlpool facility up in Carlisle, Pennsylvania, I've said this story before, but I remember when we just opened up and it was like our first week or two, and we were running, the receiver had called and said, "Hey, check in on the truck. When's he going to be here?" And I called the driver, and I told the driver, and I had the driver on the phone. He goes, "Man, I just missed my exit." And the receiver got a little upset. He goes, "Well, he's going to be an hour late." And I'm thinking, you know what? How can you really be an hour late? I mean, there's exits all over the place here. But
have you been to Jersey?
Exactly. So yeah, not exactly the case all over the place. Some of these exits are 17, 18, 19 miles away. Yes. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, or they don't facilitate a good turnaround for a truck.
Yep. Especially on the northeast side. They don't seem to have the roads for 53-foot.
All right. Well, we want to thank all y'all for participating today. Great show, great videos, great conversation, and that's what it's about. Listen, to make sure that we have some good, solid conversation about safety, about what we do together. It's so important.
Absolutely.
Hey, it is time for
HR.
Good morning, Miss Christie.
Good morning, Miss Christie.
How are y'all this morning?
We are better the second time than we were the first time.
Well, good. I like to hear that. So just wanted to throw out that this week and next week is spring break in Texas. And I was looking up across the United States. It looks like spring break actually runs for a while. It begins March 9th and runs through April 21st. So just a heads up that, that traffic will be a little heavier with the four-wheelers, probably especially at nighttime. Those college students may be getting out and enjoying themselves quite a bit. So just a heads up to watch for that traffic, especially at night. We, hope that they are making good decisions. It ties right into the no alcohol. But as you know, that may not be the case. So just keep your eyes open and be aware that the traffic might be a little worse for the next month or so. And today we have a 6-year anniversary for Hector Cortez. Happy anniversary, Hector. And then also I have February's driver of the month. And that is Mr. Josh Bennett. Congratulations, Josh. And other than that, everyone, please, especially with spring break and more people being out, continue to wear your mask, do your part, wash your hands, use that antibacterial, and stay as safe as possible. Thank you.
So speaking of I went to the gym last night with my youngest daughter. we went there and look, I was ready to go at 30 minutes. She was there for an hour and a half. And like I was telling you, it's kind of uncomfortable. Sometimes, when you're, there's only so long you can sit in the sauna before.
Yeah, because why is that guy hanging out in the sauna? That dude's in there. Why is he just hanging out in there?
But I went in there with her, and I didn't have we took our 20, Kendra's 2012 car that we got out. I changed the batteries over the weekend, so we took the car out there, no mask in it, so it hadn't been ridden in a little while, I guess, but no mask, and they're not required at the gym, okay? Right. But I went in there without a mask, thinking I could pull it off.
Are you getting looked at?
Let me tell you, I felt so uncomfortable. I felt uncomfortable. Number one, they didn't know if I had my shot or not, right? A lot of teachers are now getting that one-shot vaccine here in Texas. We got a lot of those going on. But I felt so uncomfortable walking around. I want to just remind all of us, try to wear that mask no matter what. I tell you, and I told my daughter, I said, I think I'm going to be the one that wears it forever. I mean, I felt guilty. I felt bad. I just didn't feel comfortable at all.
They've got a deal out. I saw on the news yesterday. It has something to do with the passport. Have you seen that? The vaccine passport. You'll get a identification on your phone, and
they should just put one right here.
Yeah, and what you do is you hover it over, and you either get a green or a red, and that means that you can be associated. So and I'm thinking, well, wow, that right there, you're either in or you're out, right?
So I will tell you that the WHO did say yesterday that, with the vaccine, that grandparents can go visit their grandchildren. They can do that without the masks. That they are now allowing those that have all had or they're saying it's okay, those that have all had the shot to gather together in small without the mask too, right, outside of your bubble. So there's a lot of confidence coming with the shot.
Yes.
A lot of teachers now inside of Arlington are getting that shot today as well. Mm-hmm. We had them done yesterday, so a lot of shots going on. Pretty good stuff.
My parents actually went and got the shots a couple days ago as well. They got the first round of shots, I should say. They haven't gotten the second round. They didn't get the Johnson & Johnson one. They just got the 2-round Pfizer.
Yeah, West Fort Worth, they get the 2 shots. The closer you get into the big city, you get the 1 shot.
It's just get it and go. Get out of here, yeah.
But the teachers here, they got the 1-shot Johnson & Johnson dose. So good for them. My other daughter is a senior in high school, Kirsten. She going to Alabama, Roll Tide. She does daycare at the gym. And she's also eligible because of that to get her shot. And, I kind of said, I told her not to get it, as a young lady that's 18 years old. I'd be honest with you. My worry is, okay, I know we've had tests, but we haven't seen the lingering effects of, what can happen to her fertility or something like that. So it just kind of, I'll be honest. I know Drive Safe's like, but I need to hear. I'm okay with myself, with those that are older, but for my daughter, I tell you, and I told both of them yesterday that I don't know. I'm a little worried when you hear skeptics from those, believe it or not, smarter than you and I, that say, "Hey guys, listen, we don't know everything yet."
I haven't heard anything from the scientific community on that. I have heard a lot of people. I've seen people standing on the street side of the street with signs saying that it's dangerous, but I haven't actually seen anybody from the scientific community stepping forward and saying that it's dangerous. So I'm pretty much leaning towards the scientist on this. I'm going to give them the pass. That's my opinion. You have yours. I respect your opinion for what it is.
And listen, what you say holds a lot of credit with me, because I know they usually go to you first, and then we find out. So once the scientists talk to Drive Safe Dave, they run it by him to make sure, this is kind of what we're thinking, Drive Safe, before we publish this in this magazine that only you read.
I'm not reading. I'm not the only one that reads Scientific American. It's one of the oldest magazines in the United States.
All right. Hey, it is time. And you know what? Hector, 6 years. Awesome to be here for 6 years. He is on vacation. After 6 years, hey, Hector, it's time for you to take a vacation. We get that part. Go enjoy the fun of the sun.
You get another one in another 6 years.
That's right. In 6 more years, we'll give you 2 of them. So, hey, listen, Hector, enjoy your time. But taking Hector's place, all the way from Pennsylvania, coming in at 6'3", it is Richard row.
Boy, now if that isn't a build up, I've never had one.
Extra 4 inches. Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't remember Richard being 6'3".
I had to make him intimidating. They can't see him anyway, so there he is. He looks 6'3" in there. Richard, you look awfully good.
Well, thank you. But I tell you what, I'm glad to be with you guys this morning with the group. I think it's a great subject because today we really hit on what the subject today is, and that's the big picture. The safety videos, a lot of the talk this morning is exactly that, the big picture. Watching what's going on, being aware of what's going around, making yourself prepared of what's ahead is a lot of the big picture. Watching what's going on beside you, and of course, as far as you can from behind you is a very important part of the big picture. Scanning the areas, watching for cross traffic, watch for those road signs, watch for warning signs. We tend to run a lot of the same roads, especially a lot of our dedicateds. And this time of year, there's going to be a lot of changes on those roads. They're going to be putting up construction sites maybe we weren't expecting. We kind of get used to running that road, and sometimes we neglect watching those signs. Always be aware for what's different. It's kind of like how many times you ever leave home, headed into someplace, and you drive that route time and time and time again. All of a sudden, one day you go by there. Well, when did they put that there? That's because you get used to what was there. You're not looking for what's going to be there or what's changing. Got to keep alert at all times of where you're going, even though you've been there twice this week. You've got to be aware of the changes. Keeping watch of the traffic patterns. Again, in the videos, that is a very standout point, is watching the traffic patterns, being alert, being aware, making those lane changes, watching the mirrors whenever you make the lane changes. Always anticipate what the person is going to be doing ahead of you, especially going into those construction areas, because as we saw in that one video, it could have been a lot worse because the people that were merging could have quickly jumped over into the right lane. It's just one of those subjects that we cannot stress enough, in my opinion.
You know, I agree with you, Richard. And I totally agree with you in that regard, because to me, the big picture it allows more than just what's ahead of the road. It allows all the things that come together. You know, we watch the videos and we see those instances where things change and things happen. And as we know behind the wheel and as we do the road each day, to get the big picture has a lot to do with figuring out what's going to happen, right? What's coming up, not just to point it ahead of you on the road, but as things develop, you know, the warning signs that are happening, like you talked about, the construction sign ahead, right? The big picture says, oh, hey, I got construction coming up. Let me slow down, right? Let me start to evaluate in a different way what's happening, right, Rich?
Exactly. These are the things they're there for that reason. I mean, they don't put them out there just to have something stick alongside the road. They're there to warn you, hey, something's going on up here. Prepare yourself, and prepare for those on the road that didn't see the signs, or those that, as we all drive in truck, we know there's always going to be someone that has to try to get ahead of you and cut you off. There's not a day on the road that we haven't had this happen. Construction sites are one of those bottlenecks that invariably I've got to get ahead of that truck because I know there's room ahead of him because he leaves his space. That disappears very quickly.
Yeah, I agree with you, Richard. And you know, another thing, when I think of get the big picture, to me, that's really important, it's these intersections. And it doesn't matter what kind of intersection we're talking about. We can talk about a four-way stop. We can talk about a merge point. We can talk about a crosswalk. We can talk about any type of intersection. To me, the big picture is, hey, get ready, open up your eyes, look around, see what's happening, see what's changing, because you and I both know it can change in a moment's notice, and we have to make that great value decision of when and what we need to do to either stop or avoid the hazard.
Absolutely. And one of my kind of a pet peeve is, as much as an advantage of the right turn on law is, that is also a doorway for someone's going to sit at that light and says, well, he's not coming that fast. I can get out in front of him.
Right.
That law scares me in so many times because I've seen it abused so many times. Always watch out for the guy that's sitting there that's going to make that right turn on red, and he's going to be right in front of you, not anticipating how fast you're going or how quickly you can't slow down.
Or even see you.
Exactly. Because, I mean, we're always coming in. From our perspective, sitting higher, a stop sign can block our view of a lot of cars, a lot of area. Sometimes it seems like they don't always anticipate the height they put of a sign. They put it for the average driver, especially on secondaries or streets. They don't always stop to think the height of a truck and what is going to be blocked by those signs. It's just like there are mirrors on the side of the truck. Dave, you know, how many times have you lost a vehicle just looking at your mirror because it's behind your mirror? That sounds really ridiculous. It's not that wide. It's only a few inches wide, but it can cover up a whole car in different situations.
The reason at an intersection, you look left, right, and then left again, and I always look right again. I always look I always double tap an intersection in both directions because of what the mirror can or can't hide. Because you can't see behind them. It does create a genuine, dangerous blind spot at any intersection. So you have to be aware of that, and I believe that to be the case, and that's what we're talking about here in getting the big picture. Understanding that what you see right now isn't necessarily everything that you have in front of you, that it changes in a moment's notice, and that you have to take into account everything, and you have to take into account everything that's going around you. And it's not just traffic situations. It can be weather situations. It can be, it can be any of these other situations that occur that can create, it can be the road pattern. It can be, signage. It can be anything that creates a new and difficult environment in which you have to put yourself in as you move along the road. And that's what we're talking about in the big picture. Who'd you have there?
We had Alan Arnold. What do you got for us this morning?
Yeah, I just wanted to bring this up. Across 64 in West Virginia, okay, they are replacing all the bridges from mile marker 1 up to Nitro. I can't remember the mile marker on that, but there's a big bridge going across the river that's been there forever and a day. And they're starting to work on that as well. But I wanted to let people know, when we're going through there, they've widened the shoulder, so they've put down pavement, and they've already had to replace that pavement, okay? So it made it really, really wobbly and really dangerous because your truck and trailer is wobbling back and forth. Ride in the left lane against the Jersey wall, because that's more solid. And the other reason to ride against that Jersey wall is because you've got on-ramps. Well, they've got stop signs, but people are not stopping. They're just, flying up there and jumping in front of you or whatnot. It's a potential for a major accident. So if you just stay over in the left lane and leave them alone and let them do what they're going to do, jumping out there, we'll be a whole lot better off. And I wanted to say thank you to Heather and Mr. Jeff for helping me out last night. I do appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Alan. And you know what? Those temporary lanes, when they lay that temporary concrete down, those aren't set on good solid base anyway. Like your concrete road is, especially as thick as it is, it's not set. When they lay that temporary concrete down to add to lanes, it's not near what it was done when they build the road intentionally. It's not as deep, it's not as solid, and it's not as structured. They don't lay a lot of rebar in that. They don't put it. In fact, I don't think they put any rebar in there when they put in those temporary lanes. They just lay that asphalt down because it's temporary, because they want to cut it back up. So yeah, it is not near as stable, and it does not provide the type of security, and it doesn't have the drain off either range like it does in the way it was by design. It's just a temporary structure. But who else we got?
We got Gerald Baker and then Walt Markell. What do you guys got for us?
Hey, I just wanted to touch base on the issue on the big picture. I think a lot of people get out there and they get what I call sign blind. I kind of play a game with myself when I go down the road, and I make it a point to read every sign. And then if that sign pertains to my trip, then I'll retain that information. But if it doesn't pertain to my trip, I'll actually tell myself, oh, that sign doesn't pertain to me, and I'll dismiss it from my memory. But if it's something that I need to know, I'll retain that information. And it just kind of helps you know what's going on if you make it a point to read every sign.
Great point on that as well. Just again, ways for all of us to take from another driver to, to what makes them better out there, what makes them alert, especially to the certain areas that they're in. Listen, I mean, yes, there could be a McDonald's 3 miles up the road and 1.5 miles to the left, but if you're not going there, does it really matter? Drive safe.
No, and if you're not, or another sign, that hey, beef jerky sold at exit 3. You're not looking for beef jerky. It's probably not pertaining to you. So I agree. But all those signs, especially all those traffic signs, those green signs, orange signs, yellow signs, all those signs are designed to help you out there on the road, and you need to look at every single one of them, because there might be information in there that you have to. And I really like the new billboards up there, the new digital traffic billboards that give you information about what's going on ahead. Those are really neat. I really think they've come a long way with that. Even done some safety messages. They do safety message with those and other stuff, but I'll tell you, those are really getting helpful as far as traffic control and getting the information ahead of you on what's going on up ahead. Big picture stuff, I think those things allow us to know a little bit more about the big picture, those digital signs that are being posted up there and they're being built for us out there on the road. Good stuff.
How about you, Walt?
Just wanted to add on to a couple of things y'all mentioned. Okay, we've got a couple of things. Number one, Dave is absolutely right on those temporary add-ons. We did not put any rebar in there because they are just temporary. It's all asphalt, as opposed to maybe 17 inches out on the highway. We usually got maybe 8 to 12 at the most. So the trucks are not really set up to drive on that more than just a couple months. And the other thing I wanted to add on those intersections, not only do we're not able to see around those mirrors and signs all the time, but these new trucks are insulated very well, and you can't always hear the traffic coming, including emergency vehicles. I've actually had a police officer with the siren on, had no idea he was anywhere in the neighborhood, and missed him behind the mirror one time. So that's something, we've really got to pay more attention to, and maybe turn the radio down a little bit so maybe we can hear a little bit.
Yeah, that's a great point. The trucks used to not be insulated. You could hear everything from a bug hitting the windshield to sirens and stuff like that, or people honking at you. But yeah, they do get a little bit more insulated. They are a little bit better built, and it does take away from your ability to hear. But if you're driving in the city, it doesn't hurt to crack your windshield. I mean, your window a little bit. No, crack your windshield. Crack your window. Crack your window a little bit. Don't crack your windshield, and that way it'll allow you to hear what's going on around you, because
leave the windshield intact.
Yeah, leave the windshield, and thank you, Walt. Definitely want to leave the windshield intact, but you can't crack your driver's side window or your passenger side and allow you to enjoy the fresh air and also hear what's going on around you.
Hey, Walt, if all you're hearing is you may want to keep it in the middle there, buddy, too.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, we have a couple more callers. Who do we have?
Yeah, we got Kerry Mobley and then William Jackson.
Kerry, are you lost?
Did you exit right?
That's hilarious. Along with the intersections, when you pull up to a stop sign, you've got trees and brush and signs right there where you're trying to look and see around. It's just be careful, because sometimes you just got to pull up and ease up, and people don't always give you the room that you need. So just be cautious with those. Try to look. Well, you got to look around them, but sometimes you got to pull up, and it's not always safe to.
All right. Well,
I was just saying, be careful when you pull up to stop signs and look around the trees. They're hard to see around sometimes.
Yeah, no, good point on that.
Have a good day.
Hey, thank you
Kerry.
very much. Appreciate that, Kerry. And yeah, the same thing comes when the trees are blocking the, we'll see, especially you'll see the trees that block the light as well, right? We see oftentimes you'll have a sign before that as well, letting you know there's a stoplight around the corner. Just use all of that to help you make better decisions. Hey, great point on that. And who do we have?
We had William Jackson. What do you got for us?
I'm sorry, Miss Jackson.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's up,
good
Doug?
good show, man. Y'all do an excellent job up here. The safest station in the nation. How about that?
Safest station in the nation.
How's it going up there, Doug?
Hey, I just want to touch on some things with the big picture, and they stole some of my thunder with the intersections. I was going to say, crack your window so you can hear, because you got to hear that sirens and stuff. But what I do as far as the big picture, I drive with my headlights on just to make myself extra visible. And you say we got to get the big picture. I mean, some people can be in a daze and they don't even see you. If they're in a daze, they won't see a tractor trailer, which is amazing. But sometimes they're in that daze and they just don't see you. So make yourself as visible as possible. And also in the big picture, the people behind you, if you're coming up in the construction zone or traffic stopping, they can't see you. They can't see up in front of you if they're behind you. So communicate. Communicate is the key out here with this big picture. Use your flashers. Use anything means necessary. Turn signals, flashers, slow down, and kind of move over to the right so they can peek out behind you without changing lanes or something. I mean, you're supposed to drive in the center of the lane. I understand that, but if you're coming up to something like that, stop traffic or something, kind of move over to the right as much as possible, and so they can see around you without changing lanes and jumping out in front of somebody else could cause an accident or something. So I try to do that and practice that when I'm driving. That's all I had to say. Y'all have a great day. God bless each and every one of you.
Hey, thanks, Doug. I appreciate it. And you know what, Richard? Great topic, great subject. Get the big picture, and great participation on this, because it's something that we all have to do out there to be successful. And I do appreciate you bringing it. I appreciate you stepping up. And while Hector's out and bringing on such a good topic, because it's something that I believe as we go out there on the road and as you look out there on the highways and byways today, and you hit the big road, you've got to continue to be watching out for things that may or may not happen. You've got to be able to see and deduct what's going to happen in front of you and make those precautionary moves in order to continue to be safe.
All right. Thank you. Great show. Great episode. Richard, once again, thank you for stepping in today. You did Hector some great justice. Phenomenal job. And to all of you that participate, thank you for participating. Thank you for all you do. Hey, let's close this thing. Drive safe with a little prayer. Our dear Heavenly Father, man, we thank you so much for all that you do for us. We're so unworthy to be, where we are today, yet it's your grace that gives us that ability. Lord, we ask you to be with us, to bless us, to make us better people, Lord, to give us that ability to forgive one another, Lord, and I'll just ask right now that, you allow those to forgive us and when we make mistakes ourselves, especially right here on the radio. Lord, if I hurt somebody, hey, I want to say I'm sorry to you, and I'll reach out as well. Lord, just watch over us. Make us the absolute best that we can be. Help us to be ones that love you, that also can show you in others. We're not perfect, and I don't think you, and we know you don't ask us to be perfect. But Lord, give us that perfect intention. Give us that perfect heart to try and do everything we can to help out our fellow brother or sister. Man, it's awesome to have you on our side. It's awesome to know that we can always go to you and just give us that remembrance, remind us somehow that to know that we can go to you no matter what. It's in your Son's name we pray. And Lord, I ask you to keep our truck drivers safe. Keep all of these drivers safe today. Wrap your arms around them. Love them like you do. It's in your Son's name we pray. Amen. Y'all have a great and blessed day.
All right, be safe, everybody.